Hi, Jen. Thanks for meeting with me today.
Hi, Sheena. Thank you for meeting with me.
I want to start by thanking you so much for your work here at Sentio and the last year and a half. It's been, I think, almost 2 years. So it's been absolutely amazing to have you at Sentio with us. I wanted to start today by just thanking you and then also asking you a couple of questions, if that's okay.
Sure. Yeah. And I'm so glad to be here
Awesome.
at
Thank
Sentio.
you. So can you tell me, Jen, how has training in Sentio Counseling Center been helpful for you?
I think it's been helpful in so many ways. I think the main way is in my graduate program, we really looked similar to just about every other graduate program. We looked at things in terms of models and very much conceptually. And so I think the biggest takeaway that I've gotten from Sentio is the skills work. And so breaking things down into skills has been really, really helpful for me because then I have a good idea of the interventions that I want to use in a lot of the sessions that I'm in nowadays.
Okay, that's awesome. What do you think makes Sentio different from other training sites that you've heard about?
I think the structure, I think on the one hand, there's a lot of work that we do as trainees at Sentio. And I think also what comes with that is the support. So I think that there's a lot of support and maybe um, would probably, I would guess, be that there's a lot more support at Sentio than what you might get at some other training sites
Can you
that
tell
comes with that structure.
can you tell me a little bit about that support and maybe how it's helped you, maybe in a certain instance, just vaguely?
Mhm. So vaguely, I would say that there are times when in sessions you might have a moment where you just weren't sure what to do, which is a lot of times the case in being a trainee and becoming a therapist, and being able just knowing that you have multiple, like more than one supervisor you can consult, that you have weekly supervision, and that when you identify that challenge that you had in your session, you're going to have a really clear idea of a skill that you can use in future sessions. And chances are that same challenge will come up again and you can use that skill.
That's perfect. That sounds really good. How challenging it was it, sorry.
Mhm.
How challenging was it for you to do the practicum at Sentient Counseling Center? And can you please describe the challenges you encountered?
I would say it was very challenging, and I knew that going into the program that there would be a lot of work involved in learning, kind of almost like a secondary, like always an extra class, I would say. So you have sort of like your classes that you're taking as part of your graduate program, and then as part of Skills Lab, it's almost like you have another class as part of your workload, and you're preparing for each supervision that you attend. So where maybe in other programs or other clinics, you might not come with that same level of preparation that you bring to those supervision sessions. So you're getting a lot out of it. A part of that is the preparation that you do.
Right, right. That's totally true. Definitely agree with you on that. Please describe what it was like for you to do deliberate practice. Deliberate practice. Sorry, my
No
word.
worries. No worries.
Please describe what it is like doing deliberate practice at Sentio Counseling Center.
Deliberate practice at Sentio is something that you do on a weekly basis, both in supervision with your individual supervisor. Um, and if you're working with couples, you're doing it also in the couples work that you're doing. So you're doing that in those sessions. Those sessions are recorded with your supervisor. And so the work that you're doing there is something that's reviewed by other people as well as the work that you're doing in your sessions. And then you also are doing some work on your own to practice skills too. So you have homework
Right.
coming away from that supervision. So, and then you're doing deliberate practice in that sort of like skills lab or sort of that extra class that you have as part of the training program. You're also doing deliberate practice there too. So you're getting a lot of opportunity to practice. And some weeks that can come a lot more easily than others. We have a lot of demands on us in becoming therapists and having being in a graduate program and working with clients, and just all the training that we're getting. Some weeks it's you have a lot of energy to spend on that, and other weeks you don't. But in the end, what you'll notice is that after doing all that practice, you find that you want to have more practice because you get used to learning that way. And there's a lot of comfort that comes from that.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. When you talk with your friends or peers at your graduate program previously or now, do any report challenges finding a good practicum site? And if you can please describe what those challenges were that they have maybe told you.
Mhm. Yeah, I think my experience is specific to my program and it being CLAMFD accredited. So there's the requirements of COAMFD along with those of my school and the BBS in the state of California. And so that comes with its own set of challenges. Sentio has actually been able to support me in meeting the requirements of my CLAMFD accredited program.
Mm.
Um, and I know in terms of like peers in my program, they had a hard time finding sites that could meet those requirements because they're very stringent. It helps you get plenty of good experience, and it's also kind of tough sometimes to find a site that can meet those requirements. Sentia was able to do that. And I think also it can be tough to kind of get up and running and get enough hours, I've heard at other sites. Um, and so to be able to kind of meet what you need to for your program and be able to graduate from your program. And that also was not an issue that I ran into at Sentio either. So, and sometimes it can be tough to have enough supervision, I've heard,
Right.
and plenty of supervision at Sentio.
Definitely. What kind of graduate student do you think would be a good fit for Sentio?
I would say somebody who um, is kind of interested in a lot of structure, um, somebody who can be able to kind of week after week be able to do the practice with peers and on their own and kind of being self-motivated to do that. Um, yeah, I think it is challenging and just kind of like being able to balance the what can be a pretty rigorous program with the other demands in their life.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Someone who is, I guess, very adamant on being able to learn more, right, as well.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
supervision is a huge piece because of how much supervision you do get here.
Mhm. Yeah, I think if you're somebody who really is passionate about learning, like if you're somebody who really enjoys learning new things, is passionate about, like for me, psychology was sort of a hobby of mine before, like something that I used to read about before starting my graduate program or at Sentio. So for me, it kind of fit really well with something that I was already kind of doing, which was learning about those sort of things on my own. So
Mhm.
if you're like, as you said, if you're passionate about learning and it's um, something that you're comfortable being able to kind of like take in a lot of that information and be able to apply it, I think that would be a really good kind of trait or ability too.
Right.
It can be tough sometimes, but if you enjoy that, you will probably enjoy aspects of the program.
Yes, definitely. Do you have anything else you'd like to say about the Sentio Counseling Center training program for potential applicants in the future?
Yeah, I think, just kind of what we've learned from our supervisors, stay connected to your peers, and um, and this is true for I think any practicum site. Just try to take some time to think about something each week that you were proud of in the clinical work that you were doing, and maybe identify what it is that you were proud of about that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's definitely great to kind of reflect and then be able to grow a little bit more the following week.
yeah.
I just want to thank you, Jen, so much for your work here at Sentio, our conversation today. It was so genuine and you've done such a wonderful job here. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Sheena. I really appreciate the support that I've gotten from you too as the assistant clinic director. So
Thank you.
thank you. I appreciate it.